Hey RMU, and welcome to another episode of Campus Stories. I'm your host, Victoria Lomax, and if you have visited the school's website lately, you may have noticed an article titled 15 and Counting. The article, which is about the School of Engineering, Mathematics, and Science, talks about a milestone within the field. And here to tell us a little bit more is the Dean of the School of Engineering, Mathematics, and Science, Dr. Maria Kalovich. So welcome. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Of course, of course.
So jumping right into things, could you tell us what that milestone is?
Well, as you have seen from the website, our school started in 1999 with only 22 students in engineering. And 3 departments were brought under one roof by the founding dean, Dr. Omurtag. So I have joined the school 13 years ago and actually had the chance to see the growth of the school throughout those years. And it's truly a milestone comparing these 22 first students that we had in 99 with more than 1,000 that we have right now in all 3 departments.
So to celebrate the 15th anniversary, the schools had a party at the Montour Country Club. Could you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Right, that was a great opportunity for us to reminiscing about the history of the school and also to look forward with our students and graduates. That was an opportunity to bring students from all 3 departments, our best achievers. And we had about 20 plus students there. And we also had our graduates. They're the ones who are now in the field working and promoting RMU mission and vision. So we had a chance to hear from our graduates as well, from our alums. So that was a great opportunity. We also honored our founding dean and spoke about the steps of history, starting with 99 till nowadays, and spoke about the future mission for the school and the directions we go.
You mentioned honoring the former dean of the school, and also back in 1999, the 22 students who were enrolled as engineering majors. Has the school been able to stay in touch with those students?
We did our best to stay in touch. Many of them are linked with us on Facebook. Many of them actually help our current students to find internships and jobs. So this is truly a great opportunity for us to see how our alums still are in contact with us and supporting the school. That was an excellent question. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. So you have been the dean for 13 years.
I have been the dean for 6 years.
For 6 years.
But I have been with the school for 13 years.
Okay, so since being with the school, how would you say the program has changed?
Well, our core values, which is personalized attention and hands-on experience and applied research, that has not changed. But we always look at the new trends in industry, and we're making sure that our curriculum is current and that our students have the best experiences both during the mandatory internship, also during our classroom experiences with the new curriculum that reflects the trends in industry. So because of that, we have had several great achievements, especially in engineering. When we were recognized as the founding partner for the President Obama initiative on additive manufacturing. We also have the designated Center of Excellence in Actuarial Science program, which is really only 20 plus programs nationwide that have this designation. So that's a great achievement for us.
So currently, the School of Engineering, Mathematics, and Science is the fastest growing school at RMU.
Right.
What would you attribute to that success rate?
Well, you're absolutely right. SAMS is the fastest growing school at RMU, and engineering is the fastest growing major. And certainly this is because of the hard work of our faculty and staff, their true dedication to the success of our students. Certainly thanks to the leadership of the university and the school. And we also, as I mentioned, are very particular about the specific trends in industry, and we respond to those trends well. So this showcases the advanced, current, modern areas in engineering, and it makes it very attractive to students.
So for students who may be undecided with a major, what goes into being a person who studies engineering, mathematics, and science?
Well, if you're undecided, you're welcome to come and visit the dean, the department head, the faculty, most important, our state-of-the-art laboratories. And I have no doubt when you visit that, when you come and spend time with us, you will be hooked. You will be excited about engineering and sciences, and you will be part of our school.
All right, thank you. And
pleasure.
Coming up after the break, we will have more with Dr. Maria Kalovich, so stay tuned.
These boys are my heroes. They come every week to spend time with my children.
At Robert Morris University, every student is expected to reach out to others.
They can teach them something no one else can.
Wisconsin.
They're role models to the children, and homework comes way before sports. Their grades have improved, and their lives are just a bit richer.
Okay.
What they do for my kids is truly wonderful.
Change someone's life. It changes yours forever. Robert Morris University.
I call them my lifeline.
People don't realize how quickly you can end up on the street. One thing happens in your life, medical bills you can't pay, lose your job, and that's it.
At Robert Morris University, every student is expected to reach out to others.
We went to DC to work with the homeless. They sell a newspaper called Street Sense. Thought I'd help.
But if you want to give more, you can.
This person came up to me and said, "Get a job." And for 2 hours, I felt what it was like to be homeless.
Good morning. $1 help.
Some of the other students said, "How can we change this?" And I said, "Sometimes you can't change the world, but you may be able to change one person's world." My dream? Open a psych clinic for people on the street.
Change someone's life. It changes yours forever. Robert Morris University.
Welcome back to Campus Stories. If you're just tuning in, still joining me today is Maria Kalovich, Dean of the School of Engineering, Mathematics, and Science. So welcome back. Thank you for staying with us.
Absolutely.
And you've been the Dean of the school for 6 years now. How did you take on that position?
Well, my story is rather interesting because I had an experience as a part-time faculty here at RMU, and then was hired as a full-time faculty. Was asked by the leadership of the university to start science department and became the founding chair of the science department, and then had an opportunity to be an associate dean for the school. And when the last dean left the school, there was an opportunity for a national search, and I applied as well and was chosen as the dean and have led the school since 2010.
In the school's 15 years, it's had a number of accolades and accomplishments. Could you tell us a few?
Well, certainly our engineering program has added several very important programs. Biomedical engineering, for example, where we have faculty with backgrounds from CMU and Johns Hopkins working on projects with the Harvard University and others. We certainly have our mechanical engineering program growing faster than any others. For us, it's important to see the strength and growth of our manufacturing engineering, and this is certainly in response and recognition of our manufacturing program by President Obama initiative. Also, I want to mention that our manufacturing program is the only one in Pennsylvania that is accredited by the accreditation body that is called ABET. And it's really a true honor for us, and it's great for us to have students in the program who then we know go into the field and are successful. I would be remiss to mention our environmental science program. That was the first program that we offered in our science department. And this program really has a great connection now with the shale development and energy industry, offering, for example, land management certificates and other certificates that will help us to build strong relationships with energy industry. Certainly, biology is a fast-growing major as well, with a very good number of female students joining the program. And we also have our Center of Excellence in Actuarial Science and Mathematics. We also have math and science education programs. So we truly are proud about the hard work that faculty have done leading us into the next century and next chapter of the school.
You mentioned the female population, but currently in the United States, the female interest in mathematics and science isn't as high as the male interest. Why do you think that is, and how do you think people could change that?
This is an excellent question, and you're absolutely right. It's not just a national problem, it's a global, international problem. And for us, the great passion is the so-called outreach events. This is an opportunity for our faculty with expertise in sciences, mathematics, and engineering to go as far as elementary schools and excite students in elementary, middle, and high school level about STEM disciplines, have workshops and training and visits to our laboratories and having projects with our faculty. That's what outreach is about for us. That's what excites the students, and that's what brings them to our disciplines. And yes, we have the reputation of being hard disciplines, but nevertheless, I think when you expose students to them at the very early age, they understand the importance of STEM disciplines and they get excited about them, and then become our students and become the workforce for the region and beyond.
Now, with this particular program, we know that it's becoming the fastest growing major at RMU. But overall, is there also an increase in the female population?
Certainly in engineering, this is probably even the bigger issue than in sciences, because nationwide we have about 14% of female students in engineering programs. We currently have about 17 or 18%, so it's a good increase, though it's still a lot to work on. We have hired female faculty from other universities, and we now have 2 female faculty in engineering with great backgrounds. They serve as the mentors, leaders, and advisors to our female students.
So with 15 years under the belt, what do you hope to accomplish in maybe another 15 years?
Great question. Really put things in perspective, and it really comes along with the strategic plan that the university have developed recently for the next 5 years. And the goal is certainly to move the school forward and gain the national and international recognition. Certainly the high quality of the faculty we hire, the high quality of students that come to us, the success of our alums, bringing our programs to the level of recognition of not just as a regional institution, but national and international institution.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
And coming up after the break, we will have more with Dr. Maria Kalovich, so stay tuned.
Thank you.
It's a completely different world. We were there to bring nursing care to some desperate people.
At Robert Morris University, every student is expected to reach out to others.
The very first person that I met was David. Kept saying, "You have to come to my house and watch me play my trumpet." You could tell from the look on his face that it was just his most prized possession. I get back home. A few weeks later, I got a message that a gang had broken into his house at night and they stole it, which was his life. So next trip back, we gave him a new one. The look on his face was just complete disbelief. He just absolutely couldn't believe it. And to be able to do something like that is one of the best moments of my life. He said he'd never forget us.
Change someone's life. It changes yours forever. Robert Morris University.
These boys are my heroes. They come every week to spend time with my children.
At Robert Morris University, every student is expected to reach out to others.
They can teach them something no one else can.
Wisconsin.
They're role models to the children, and homework comes way before sports. Their grades have improved, and their lives are just a bit richer.
Okay.
What they do for my kids is truly wonderful.
Change someone's life. It changes yours forever. Robert Morris University.
I call them my lifeline.
Welcome back to Campus Stories, and I'm Victoria Lomax. Still joining me is Dr. Maria Kalovich. Thank you very much.
Sure.
So we were just talking about engineering majors. We would like to know, how can people involved in the engineering, mathematics, and science field get internships through the school?
Well, as I mentioned, internships are mandatory in our curriculum. So we have strong connections with industry that we have built for 15 years. We also have board of visitors that serve with the dean, and they are the presidents and CEOs of engineering companies and scientific companies and mathematical companies that help our students to get internships and get the foot in the door. So just to give you a few examples of local companies like Michael Baker and the well-known Bayer and Alcoa and US Steel and so many more, smaller manufacturing companies like Schroeder, for example. Also, each program has an advisory board, and so they also have representatives from industry that help our students with internships. So with all that said, the department head and the faculty are making sure that each and every student has this opportunity. We also work very closely with the Career Center, PNC Career Center here at RMU, and they are the ones that help us and work with our students as well, assuring them with the internship opportunities.
Thank you.
Sure.
And from what I know, you are from Moscow, Russia.
That's right.
What made you want to come to the States and eventually start a life here?
Back in '92, my husband and I, we both have doctorate in sciences, have been invited to start a research laboratory. So we came as researchers and worked at the Center for Sustainable Agriculture for 5 years, building the research agenda over there. And so after that, we came here to Pittsburgh to reunite with my family, with my parents. And we decided to stay here. We also have 2 children, and they are true Americans. And our daughter actually just graduated from RMU 2 years ago.
So you come from a long line of scientists in your family. Was there any pressure growing up to do the same?
Yes and no. I think to some extent my parents gave me an opportunity to do whatever makes me excited and happy, but growing in the scientific family where you always hear these conversations around the table, it really excites you about the future scientific opportunities. So I do come from the line of scientists, and proud to say that my grandmother was among the first PhDs in biochemistry during that time. So yes, to some extent they have influenced me.
So now your research specialty is in manufactured soils and plant pathology?
Correct.
How did you decide to focus on that?
I always enjoyed interdisciplinary research. And when you talk about soil health and when you talk about plant health, it involves a lot of different aspects of life sciences. So biotechnology, mycology that studies fungi, plants, plant physiology. This was all the interest of mine. And so the combination of these disciplines really helped me to build my research agenda.
So what would you say is your favorite part about being involved with the School of Engineering, Mathematics, and Science?
Definitely students and faculty, and definitely seeing the success of our students when they graduate, become alums, become successful individuals. And it's not just necessarily successful at their jobs and careers and work, but it's also the holistic success of well-being and families, and just seeing them as successful individuals. That really makes a difference.
So as dean of the program, what is a typical day for you?
The most exciting part is the opportunity that we deans have to teach. Also, for example, right after the interview, I'm going to teach my class in microbiology. And I'm excited to see my students. They're the ones who really help you to understand better what are the needs for the programs and what are the needs for their success. So faculty, certainly opportunities to build the research agenda with them, to move the school forward. These are exciting ways for us to do grant writing and to do the fundraising for school needs. Certainly we are working on vision for the school, considering the mission that we have. We're moving the school forward. So that's the most exciting part of being the dean.
And before we wrap up quickly, you have a number of accomplishments under your belt. Are there any more that you would like to achieve?
That's an excellent question. And my grandmother once told me that we are all individuals. Be the one, have your own goals, set your own goals, aspire to them, and never stop learning. So I guess that's my aspiration for the future. Never stop learning and see where it takes you.
Thank you. And coming up after the break, we will have one more round with Dr. Maria Kalovich. Stay tuned.
Wakey, text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back, holla back, holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about? Something I did? Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
I'm starving. What's for breakfast?
Guten Tag!
Johannes, Franz!
I bring you arts-enriched Raisinblums, fortified with increased test scores and creative problem-solving skills.
It's good!
And good for you. Bobby? Susie? Don't worry, that's just the power of the art!
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit AmericansForTheArts.org.
You ever think about buying a bigger place? Just waiting for a visit from the credit fairy. There is no credit fairy. How else will I get a better credit score? Look, you keep your credit card balances low and only open a new card if you really need it. No fairy?
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
Yes, ready.
Oh, come on, Randy. Animal shelter, here I come. And no, I'm not crazy or emotionally damaged. That's a stereotype. I just belong to a total loser. I'm a good dog. So if you want a pet, adopt. And if you see Randy, tell him he dropped his wallet.
Welcome back to Campus Stories, and I'm your host, Victoria Lomax. Before we go, we have one last segment with Dr. Maria Kalovich. So, as far as I know, you come from a long line of scientists in your family, but your daughter recently chose the major of English. Did that take you by surprise?
No, not really. Both of my children decided to go into different areas. My son is in business management, and my daughter is English education. And I'm excited for them because they followed their passion, they followed their path. And yes, to some extent, I wanted them to be scientists, but I also respect their own choices in life.
Outside of your field of expertise, you also enjoy collecting artwork and wild mushrooms.
All right.
Now, I assume the wild mushrooms has to do with the plant pathology, but why that species?
It's interesting that you ask that. In Europe, it's a very common hobby to collect mushrooms. And when people do that, you have to have an extended knowledge of which mushrooms are poisonous and which ones are good for consumption. So it was also part of my doctorate thesis. So I sort of got accustomed and liked them from very early age. And here actually in Pittsburgh, we have a society of mycology society of mushroom lovers. And I'm actually very pleased to see that there are a lot of people here who are actually learning more about that and have different, trips during the summer and spring month to learn more about that. So that's one of my hobbies that apparently many people here in Pittsburgh also share.
Are the mushrooms more for research, or is it a safe bet that there's some consumption going on as well?
It's both. Research is one step, and another one, you definitely can, if you know which ones are good for consumption, you can do wonderful dishes with them, because cooking is another passion in our household. So my husband loves to cook, and I always assist him. So yes, that's the answer to the question. Both passion and research.
You also, in your household, have 2 Great Danes, a Husky, and a Rottweiler.
Right.
Is there ever a quiet moment in your house?
No, and I probably will be bored if it is. For me, animals always were part of our family. I was very little when my parents brought in the first dog, and it was Collie. And so then we just had a chance to rescue a few more dogs, and we did that. And my children also share the passion for dogs. They're also dog lovers. And now they live separately, but they have dogs at their households as well.
And lastly, before we wrap up, I know that your favorite author is Mark Twain.
Right.
Would you ever consider writing a book about what you know, or just in general?
I guess some of us think about that, and there have been some interesting journeys in my life that I might be interested to write memoirs about one day, but not yet. I still need to learn more in order to do that.
Well, thank you, Dr.
Sure.
Maria Kalovich, for coming on today. And that does it for this week's Campus Stories. I'm your host, Victoria Lomax. Have a great day.